Aaron Rodgers entered Sunday having been sacked more times than any player in NFL history, with 596 career sacks to his name. He was determined not to become victim number 597 to Myles Garrett, who stood just one sack away from the single-season record. Rodgers avoided that distinction, but it was the only thing that went right for Pittsburgh in a gritty 13-6 loss to Cleveland. The defeat prevented the Steelers from clinching their first division title since 2020 and sets up a winner-take-all showdown with Baltimore next week for the AFC North crown. Throughout the game, Rodgers appeared hyper-aware of Garrett's presence on every snap, though head coach Mike Tomlin insisted afterward that the sack record didn't influence their game plan. Tomlin stated they approached Garrett the same way they always do, focusing on minimizing his impact rather than worrying about records. Standard business against Cleveland's dominant pass rusher, nothing more. From Cleveland's perspective, Garrett's pursuit of history provided the only real drama in a meaningless game for a team eliminated from playoff contention weeks ago. The Browns are 5-1-1 against Pittsburgh in their last 7 home games, continuing their recent dominance of the Turnpike rivalry at home. This matchup was about Garrett, pride, and another audition for rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Sanders moved the ball effectively in brutal weather conditions early, staking Cleveland to a 10-0 lead, but his inexperience showed as the game progressed. Pittsburgh's defense snuffed out later drives with 2 interceptions of poorly thrown passes, capitalizing on Sanders' uncertainty and questionable decision-making. The problem for Pittsburgh was that Rodgers and the offense couldn't capitalize on Cleveland's mistakes. The Steelers managed only 2 field goals through the first 3+ quarters. Those 2 Sanders interceptions resulted in exactly 0 points for Pittsburgh. Against the league's top-ranked passing defense, Rodgers mustered an anemic 168 yards, with 58 coming on the final desperate drive. With 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining and trailing by 4 points, the moment arrived that theoretically justified bringing Rodgers to Pittsburgh. The veteran has orchestrated countless last-minute comebacks throughout his storied career. But playing without number 1 receiver DK Metcalf, Rodgers never looked comfortable in the pocket, throwing 4 straight incompletions and turning the ball over on downs. Cleveland converted the short field into a field goal, forcing Rodgers to march the entire field in 1 minute and 40 seconds just to tie. On this final drive, Rodgers briefly resembled his former self, moving Pittsburgh all the way to the Cleveland 10-yard line with 32 seconds left. But with a division title hanging in the balance, the Steelers couldn't finish. CBS analyst Tony Romo repeatedly pointed out how much they missed Metcalf's presence on the outside. After the game ended, Rodgers appeared to argue with Browns players and referees over a non-call for pass interference on the final play. He insisted afterward it was definitely interference. Browns cornerback Denzel Ward, who shut down Rodgers and Marquez Valdes-Scantling on the final 3 plays, dismissed the complaint entirely. Ward wondered whose bright idea it was to test him 3 straight times on game-deciding plays. Tomlin acknowledged his team never made that signature play to get over the hump, something Pittsburgh usually delivers in tight games. Rodgers finished 21 of 39 for 168 yards. Sanders went 17 of 23 for 186 yards, 1 touchdown, and those 2 critical interceptions. Pittsburgh now faces Baltimore at Acrisure Stadium next week with everything on the line. Rodgers expressed full confidence they'll bounce back and win at home. For comprehensive NFL coverage and the latest playoff updates, subscribe to USA Today News and stay informed.